Did I freak you
What
out?
is happening right now?
Raindrops and
Supremes.
roses and whiskers on
Now,
kittens.
interestingly
Bright
enough,
copper
this really isn't a
kettles
Christmas
and
song.
warm woolen mittens.
But it's turned
It's
into
not.
one.
Yeah, it is now.
Packages
That.
tied up with strings.
Keep going.
These
Oh.
are a few.
Welcome back to the Friday Matinee.
One of my favorite writers. That's what was on the list.
Yes, of course.
Well, you played my favorite things.
Yeah,
so
I see what you're going with.
Yeah, one of my favorite voices, one of my favorite writers.
I thought I would Christmas it up a little.
That was
We just
nice, George.
Don't play enough Christmas music here.
No, we just don't, darn it.
So it's good news. So we're here, we're Friday Matinee. We're talking a little bit about the Santa interviews. That is something that was produced yesterday. T directed it. Andrew Menjivar, who was in here, has actually just finished producing. Took him from
He's
the time he
literally
did
in the production room right now trying to upload
hot
something.
off the press,
Yeah.
as it were, just out of the oven. And the writer of the Santa interviews, Wade Bradford, here with us, writer par excellence. Now, you said, Wade, that you had presented a few other ideas.
Well, I think I only presented one other idea that was kind of half-baked, that because we were originally talking about doing something very similar to Prairie Home Companion. So you'd have something like a host, and then you have music, and then you do skits. So originally, I think T and I and David were talking about coming up with skits that we kind of bind together. So one of the skits that I was making was about Old Town Newhall, like in the Old West. So it was.
So it was like the gift to the Magi.
Yes,
type,
it was the gift of the bad guy, or the gift of the cowboy.
And then when we sat around a cup of coffee, we also did some bouncing too. That was the other place we had some ideas, and we talked about the dinner. And I have to tell you, Wade his brain is like a carousel, and things fly off when you least expect it. And so I went home and I told my husband, I said, I absolutely made the right decision, because within like a matter of seconds, he would take dialogue that we were just in conversation and turn it into something really funny, because we talked about like the dinner party and the idea that family, that was my other idea, family, pretty much everyone in every holiday tradition has the gather around the table for some type of, family food gathering. And I thought, well, maybe we'll do something like that with the wacky relatives. And I agree with David Ian Steers. He texted me in the middle of this and said, Wade Bradford has no bad ideas. And you really don't. Maybe not totally appropriate.
Well, I think that as a teacher, when I'm telling my students about writing, I do say, give yourself permission to write garbage.
Yes.
Give yourself permission, just write the first draft, and it might be brilliant, but there's a good chance that it will be silly. Not what you want.
And that's
at first.
That's what writers often, the advice they get is just blurt it out, or purge it out and clean it up later and see what's there.
And with the Santa interviews, like I said, I wrote it when I wrote it. The first draft, I finished it. It's like, oh no, this is not what I want, and so I put it away. And a couple of years later, you came up with an idea, and I revisited it,
right? So you have
reinvented it.
Have no bad ideas.
So you
It'll
can
all
take
work
any.
out.
You might have bad ideas, but you can turn them into something good.
Yes. So he's very, very. Your brain is marvelous, and I hope you never stop what you're doing. Your students are lucky to have you.
And that's the thing too. Seeing his productions at the Canadian Theatre Guild, that they've been good enough to let you produce, and I think it's wonderful and direct. So you just recently, not too long ago, was The Three Musketeers. Was that how long ago was that?
That was
your
last
adaptation,
season.
right?
That was my adaptation. And this spring we are doing CSI Wonderland.
Now I remember when you were talking about that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if that was something that you were still in the works when we kind of started crossing paths, or if that was something you already had finished.
I think last time it was probably still in the works.
So CSI, and I noticed that it was on the bill, so that's good.
Yes.
The schedule, as it were.
And what was one of the plays with the pigs? What was the title?
12 Angry Pigs.
12 Angry Pigs. I mean, just again, even your titles, I just know that there's
I think
beauty
find all
behind
those at
it.
wadebradford.com.
That's right.
It's good. Something is internet. I think this internet thing is gonna catch on.
I think it's going to catch on.
Who is it that our mutual friend and occasional Friday Matinee guest Pat Mannion talking about dialing into his old AOL account or Prodigy account with his 2400 modem? I'm like, why would you? I said,
Wow.
Did you get in a time machine to go back to 1991?
Wait, Time Machine. Aren't you the guy who posted something about MySpace yesterday?
I did. I had to go check it out.
I didn't even know that was a thing
And
still.
it's funny because everybody's picture literally is from like 2007.
It's still on there.
Just great. Speaking of Santa interview, our magical Little Elves had actually put together a little bit here. It's called Santa Interview Preview. So this is a little taste of what you may hear tomorrow night. The world premiere.
It's exciting.
Here in your hometown station,
boy.
AM 1220, KHTS.
While the children of the world anxiously counted the days before Santa would arrive, delivering toys to everyone not on the naughty list, the elves at the North Pole were busily counting the sprinkles on their cookies.
397, 398, 399. Aha! I thought I was missing a sprinkle.
Good work, Gimbal.
Thanks, Macy.
Oh, jingle bells. What am I doing wrong with this gingerbread man? Gimbal, can I get your expert cookie maker opinion?
Whatever I can do to help out.
What's wrong with this cookie?
Let's see. The raisin eyebrows are good. The frosting smile is perfect. That is an excellent arrangement of the gumdrop buttons. Oh, I see your problem. There's an extra arm.
Dashing through the snow. I'll never be as good as you.
That is a preview of the Santa interviews that's going to be continuing. Find out more. What happens with the cookies?
Cliffhanger.
Does Macy ever get her arms right? I like also, I just realized that dashing through the snow, because there's other little bits and pieces that are in there that almost sound like it's going to be a word.
Your minced oaths.
I like that.
That's what it's called.
Really? I did not know that. So you're dashing through the snow and
What the
fa-la-la, what the fa-la-la. Little things like that. It's very, very, and I love that. Menji, my hat's off to you, sir, with the sound effects.
It sounded
That was
great.
awesome. We got to get it. Speaking of sound effects, we just gave it away. But he really thinks that that's like a group of elves we have that just clap whenever we want. Little cattle prod we've got.
They wear little
Clap
collars.
with your little hands. But this was a lot of fun to record, and it's a lot of fun moving forward. Wade, an incredibly clever guy who makes also Thursday a lot of. We have Throwback Thursday. He has the Thursday movie trivia question that almost always stumps me or makes me think. It's not an easy one. So what was the most recent one you've done that you could think of?
Let's see. I took a break yesterday because of Star Wars. I didn't go on Facebook at all. I just didn't.
How is
stayed
that
away from
possible?
Facebook.
That's a powerful movie.
People have
Kept you off
spoiled it
media.
and said it's a good movie. I want to go in fresh, okay?
So I think the last one was. I know I did a Christmas one. I like asking. Sometimes they're trivia questions, but more often than not, I like starting a discussion.
Right.
Like, who's your favorite Christmas-related villain, or things like that.
So I'll have to take a look. Keep talking.
Favorite villain, Christmas villain. I think for me it would be those guys from the Home Alone movies.
Oh, yeah.
They were my favorite villains because they were funny, but they were dopey, and they were scary, but they were not so scary.
Mm-hmm.
There were things about them that if you had to have a villain during the holidays, those guys, they were awesome. Do you have a favorite?
I think that Mr. Potter from It's a Wonderful Life, because he doesn't change by
Happy
the
New
end.
Year to you in jail.
Manji, do you have a favorite Christmas villain? Or
Villain.
holiday villain?
I don't know if he's a villain, more as like an anti-hero, is it?
Okay, who's the anti-hero?
Scrooge.
Yes. But at the end, I mean, not to give that away if no one's ever seen it.
Spoilers.
It's like, well, I don't know. Is he? But yeah, he's still kind of creepy, even when he was a good guy. Am I the only one who thinks that?
I don't know.
Same with the Grinch. There should be a road trip movie with the Grinch, Mr. Potter, and Scrooge.
Okay,
I
there's
think
next
we're
year's
starting to
project.
come up.
We
I
do,
think
by
that
the
would be
way,
great.
speaking of projects, Wade is, I'm going to rope them in for a project that we're hoping to complete for summer. That's a whole other can of wax. Is it can? No, or earworm.
Can of worms.
I'm saying can of worms.
Ball of wax.
Ball of wax.
It's a can.
I like to mix my
waxy worms
I like to
in
mix
a can.
my metaphors. But there's a project I would like to see happen in the veins of the Santa interviews, but for the summer, that would involve a whole different listening experience in that it's like a bit of a soap opera or telenovela. What would that be? Radio novella. You have to listen from week to week to get the clues, to get to the end of it, to know the answer. So I'm hoping that
fun.
we're going to do that.
Your last movie question that I see on December 10th was, is The Martian a comedy?
Oh, that's right.
Yes, because it was nominated in the Golden Globes.
That's right. It's for the Golden Globes. It's nominated for Best Comedy.
And that created quite a stir because people are going, really? But it was funny.
There
it
are
was
funny parts.
Seriously funny.
No, I thought it was some sort of like space epic
Oh,
drama.
did you not see it?
No, I don't go to the movies.
No, you know what, George? It's worth
I
the
watch
price of admission.
documentaries.
I got to the end of The Martian and went, I feel like I owe someone money because it was so entertaining and so marvelous that.
It'll be on a Netflix soon enough.
Yeah, but that experience.
I know. So yeah, I really don't. The last movie I think I saw in the theater was Lincoln, and then the film stopped, so I almost didn't know whether or not we freed the slaves. I was really nervous about that. Who won the war? Who won the war?
What happened?
So the last time you were in a theater was with Lincoln.
Yes, that
What's
was
in
really
the
interesting.
box?
Yes, he was a little nervous.
I can see why you didn't go back.
He was a little nervous. He was a little on edge. But
soon.
Way too soon, man. But I'm so into documentaries now. And especially if it's anything about World War II, I'm like in the middle of like Nazi mega weapons, like 7 or 8 episodes. You know, it's like my favorite actor is Adolf Hitler. Like really, and
I think we need to take the microphone away from George.
But getting back to Christmas. Oh man,
Good segue.
Yes, woo, back to Christmas. No, I won't go there with it. A meme I saw that involved.
Somebody else talk. Somebody else talk.
Okay, so let's get to this.
Yes,
we were going to talk
George.
about this. We're going to talk about this. Favorite. So we talked about your favorite Christmas film.
Did you have one? You didn't? Did you weigh in?
I might have to go with Mr. Potter. I have problems with some of the Christmas movies in that I think that like Miracle on 34th Street.
I love your
for
opinion on
example,
that.
Is like they never really proved that he was Santa Claus. You had a judge up for re-election. Mm-hmm. You had kind of iffy evidence at best with the Postal Service not delivering mail. Why? Where's the North Pole? If there really is his home, why didn't he get his mail? Furthermore, why was he there in New York instead of up in the North Pole at Christmas? You know
He's a good delegator. Santa does not micromanage.
But not to mention they have the whole like thing with like the alcoholic wife of the store manager. He gets her drunk so that he could bring Kris Kringle over to his house. I mean, that is kind of it's an interesting set of circumstances.
You could do a
art
whole
direction is
thing
wonderful.
on
The art direction is wonderful. The post-war, that's the only good one with Maureen O'Hara and Natalie Wood, and that was Edmund O'Brien or Edmund Gwynn. I'm trying to remember one of those Edmonds. But the other ones they did with Sebastian Cabot in the early '70s. They did the one with Attenborough. It's got to be in the '40s because it just doesn't. You won't have
Doesn't
that
work
magic
as well.
there.
Doesn't work as well.
But Christmas Villain, actually, I consider Trading Places, the movie with Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy, a Christmas movie because it takes place at Christmas.
Oh,
so I like to say that the Duke brothers are my favorite Christmas villains because they try to capture the market illegally.
You know what? Actually, I want to change my answer
what do you
for
have, Manji?
Christmas villains.
Okay.
Every parent in A Christmas Story.
Every parent.
Every parent in A Christmas
There
Story.
you go. Yeah, that's
true.
probably true.
Darren McGavin, Christmas
I loved
evil
him.
man. That's one of those. Do you have a favorite, either of you, that you watch every year?
Yeah, there's 2 I watch every year because I'm just a big mush ball. I love Actually. That is my.
Is that a Christmas movie?
It is. It takes
Okay.
place, and
I've
I
never
love
seen it.
that. And
It's
I
not a
like
documentary, I haven't
while
seen
you
it.
were sleeping is my other favorite Christmas movie.
That sounds like a creepy one.
They're girly.
Okay.
Well, there's a guy in a coma.
Santa sees you when you're sleeping.
That one.
And if you're in a coma, he's
What's up with
totally
that?
watching you.
Yeah, he just watches the whole.
Yeah.
My favorite is the old Rudolph.
1964.
The
Yes.
stop motion.
And I had a crush on Santa.
And I've always one of the things that inspired me for Santa interviews is the sort of the business of the North Pole. And I love is it Hermie, the dentist character?
Yeah.
I like the Rudolph story, but I'm really more fascinated by the elf that wants to be a dentist.
Right.
And he's this disgruntled worker. Nobody wants him. That he's not doing that well, so he just runs away. I love that
Be
subplot.
who you are.
Yeah.
I love that. And except that, man, they just like totally takes the teeth out of the Abominable Snowman. Hey, it's all right now. Yeah, I like that one too. I don't manage to see it every year now that I don't have. I have streaming TV. So, but I
like
Trading
the Rudolph.
Places.
Rudolph's like
Trading Places is always fun.
Top.
Scrooge I don't watch every year, but I recently started watching it. I think last year or the year before we saw it. Bill Murray doing Bill Murray. That
Bill
really
Murray, just being
over-the-top
Bill
kind of thing.
Murray.
It's so much fun. The side characters.
Minji, what's your favorite?
I have 3.
Okay.
Actually, I got The Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
Good one.
I
Wait,
got
now the cartoon or
the
movie?
one with Jim Carrey
Okay.
in it.
Never seen
and
that.
Oh, you should. He
You
plays
should.
Scrooge
Fun
also
effects.
in another movie.
I'm hooked on the Dr. Seuss version with Boris Karloff.
And A Christmas Story, and then lastly Die Hard.
Die Hard. That's
Mm-hmm.
right. Christmas.
That's right. It's not Christmas until Hans Gruber falls off.
This is
right.
true.
I forgot about Die Hard. That is kind of a fun one to watch.
It is fun when the movies you don't expect have the Christmas theme in it.
Would
so.
you consider Die Hard? No, we're just going off. This is an entertainment show. We can talk about this stuff.
Squirrel?
Would you consider? No, not really. Would you consider Die Hard like the? Well, it is a little bit because while it's Christmas, but is it like the first really epic type of modern action movie? I mean, we've had them before. But it was so big and broad in its
It was the
expanse.
first of its kind. It really was. And that character that was your sort of every guy, and then the humor, and yeah, I felt like it was to me.
They kind of took themselves very seriously prior
Yes.
to that.
Yeah.
And you had your Chuck Norris movies and Arnold Schwarzenegger and stuff like that. Your friend Arnie, who did, but there was never a whole lot of humor in them. There's never a whole lot of like kitsch
Bits of things. That was totally
That's like
from beginning to end.
Well, the neat thing about that film, to show how groundbreaking it was, is 2 decades afterwards, people kept pitching their movies, saying
that.
that it's like, oh, this is Speed. What is Speed? Oh, it's
Die Hard,
on a Bus.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the movie with the bus.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I think it's called The
We could
Bus That
describe
Wouldn't
our-
Slow Down. but yeah, and so we've all got our favorites. Do we have any Christmas heroes? Who's your favorite Christmas hero? Christmas movie hero?
Well, that's a tough one. Somebody else go first.
George Bailey. Okay. Sorry, did I steal yours?
I like George Bailey a
Yeah, I
lot.
do
I love,
too.
that's my favorite.
That's why I had to
That's a
jump
good
in. I
one.
knew somebody
That's
else
a good
had
one.
it.
But I
is a
also
good one.
like Clarence as the heroic sidekick
Yes.
who persuades George
I
Bailey
love him.
to do the right thing, to
And Menji.
not give up.
I have to think about it.
Okay. George Bailey, it's interesting because there was a version of It's a Wonderful Life in the 70s. It was like a movie of the week or something with Marlo Thomas. Remember her from
Oh,
that girl?
gosh, yeah.
And it was kind of a reverse version of that. And I didn't know anything about the Jimmy Stewart version. And I watched it. I'm like, this is kind of lame. I like the idea of it. It didn't come off. A 70s TV movie. And then like the following year or something, they started showing it on PBS like at midnight. The original Jimmy Stewart. I almost said Carter.
Jimmy.
Well, now, Mr. Potter, I'm trying to run for president. But, Jimmy Stewart, and it was like, this is awesome.
He is awesome.
And then I would watch it every year, and they had it on 17 jillion times until NBC stole it and turned it into a 3-hour epic where we had to listen to interjections from NBC stars. And it's like, oh, man. It's an 80-minute film, and you turn it into a 3-hour thing with commercials and everything else.
I know this is radio, but all of a sudden it's smell-o-vision. Do you smell
noticed.
food?
I was like, wow. What? And I'm like, really? Did I not change shirts?
What
Yeah, I
just
realized-
happened? All of a sudden, the whole
there it is.
studio
We have
smells
our-
like food.
They're enjoying Christmas festivities
Without
while
us.
we're in the studio. That's hurry, eat, get it out of there before the show
Every
ends.
time we have a party here at AM 1220 KHTS, it's at noon,
Yes.
and George and I are always on the
That's how
air.
it works. I suddenly got like really,
I
really
see a
hungry.
theme.
So Wade, what's up? What's next? I know you're in rehearsals for Bullshot Crummond.
That's right.
And Bullshot Crummond, I know for a fact, Tim Ben Boyson, who's executive artistic director of the Canyon Theater Guild, when I first met them and came in, they were doing one of Diz White, writer of Bullshot Crummond. They were doing one of his shows called Footlight Frenzy, and they were dying to do Bullshot Crummond someday. So here we are 21 years later, and it has actually replaced a show that they had originally thought they had the rights for.
That's right. They wanted to do a show called The Mystery of Irma Vep, which was, I believe it's a 2-person show, like 2 male actors play, I think 6 characters each. And I don't know if they weren't able to get the rights for that or what happened, but they traded the title with Bullshot Crummond, which is if you've seen or heard of the 39 Steps, which we did last year,
Brilliantly,
it's kind of the
Incredible
precursor
story.
to that.
Right.
It's written in the mid 70s, so some of the humor is dated. So we are finding ways around that to make it fresh and lively. But it's the same style of you're bringing an old kind of cheesy 1930s detective movie, you're bringing it to life on stage, and it's going to be very, very wacky, very silly.
Yeah, I've seen bits and pieces of it over the years. So it is, and it's got how many people? Like 5-6 people in it.
There's 5.
5 people. You got Barry Egan, who has done a lot of stuff at the Canyon Theater Guild. Most recently, the Sunshine Boys, who's also Santa Claus in last year's Miracle on 34th Street. You got Tyler Joy, frequent guest here on
Talented
KHTS.
girl.
And you've got who else is
Christopher Flowers is
also
the
was in
lead.
The 39 Steps, outstanding, and it's one of those where you do have back and forth. It's a very, very funny show. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Wade and Menji, thanks for stepping in. Always a pleasure to have both of you on. We're going to take a break and do a final wrap up. This is the Friday Matinee on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Welcome back to the Friday Matinee on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. I'm George.
I'm T. Did we do that last time? I don't remember saying that last time.
Yeah,
I think we just
I
blah,
kind
blah.
of confused everybody with Christmas, and I thought if I do that again, I just might throw everybody completely off. So this has been fun. So again, the Santa interviews tomorrow. It will be broadcasting at 5:30 p.m. Sunday at 4:30 p.m.
Send your comments to info@hometownstation.com and look for Wade Bradford and his remarkable writing at wadebradford.com.
And Christmas Eve also 7 o'clock.
And please also look out for Captain Hook, I heard, has been
That's
roaming the
right.
neighborhood and will
He'll be down
in
at the
quite-
CTG.
Quite possibly.
Before I know it.
Peter Pan open. When does Peter Pan open?
We actually officially open on the 31st because this Canyon Theater Guild has a play sale on the 30th, which was the original opening day.
Oh.
So we will be performing on the 30th to an audience, but the official opening date for reservations is 31st, running through February, and you guys are running concurrently.
That's right.
Evenings, etc. You can get all of the show dates and times and reservation information at canyontheater.org. It's THEATRE.org. So this has been fun. So Santa interviews, great stuff. I'm looking forward to whatever we're doing next year. Maybe we can do something. What's the next holiday after? Martin Luther King.
Yeah,
Something.
Martin Luther King cereal.
Maybe we'll move on to maybe St. Patrick's Day.
Take the mic away from him.
Valentine's.
Valentine's.
Valentine's would be fun.
Maybe Valentine's. Yeah, it's a radio comedy. Martin Luther King. Oh boy, we'll move on to maybe one of the other holidays. Then that might work a little bit. Veterans Day, very exciting. Memorial Day, it's a laugh riot. I'm just kind of coming up with. See, these are the ideas that.
How about Mother's Day? That's kind of, you can't hurt that one,
About
George.
all the ideas that I got kicked out of. Well, we were going to do a little heartwarming story about Martin Luther King. Anyway, that's it for us. We might want to end it here. This is the Friday Matinee.
And by
on your
we,
hometown
you
station.
mean me.
AM 1220 KHTS. Stick around for My Conscious Dad coming up next.